Hi, and welcome back. I'm really happy you're here today because this episode is not about doing more, being perfect, or changing your life overnight. It's about something much simpler and honestly much more difficult. It's about learning how to focus on yourself in a world that constantly pulls your attention everywhere else. If you're listening to this right now, maybe you feel tired without really knowing why. Maybe you're doing everything you're supposed to do, but something still feels heavy inside. And if that's the case, I want you to know that you're not alone, and that this feeling makes sense. We are surrounded by noise. Not just noise from the outside, like phones and social media, but noise inside our minds. Thoughts about the future, regrets about the past, pressure to succeed, pressure to be strong, pressure to move fast. And in all of this noise, we slowly lose connection with ourselves. Focusing on yourself doesn't mean escaping reality or ignoring responsibilities. It means reconnecting with who you are beneath all the expectations. It means asking yourself, maybe for the first time in a long time, what do I actually need right now? Many people think self-focus is selfish, but in reality, constantly ignoring yourself is what creates frustration, burnout, and resentment. When you don't listen to your own needs, they don't disappear, they come back stronger. Let me tell you something important. You don't need a perfect routine, a perfect mindset, or a perfect life to start focusing on yourself. You only need honesty. Honesty with yourself about what drains you and what gives you energy. About what you're doing because you love it and what you're doing only to please others. A very practical way to start is to pay attention to how you feel after certain moments in your day, after a conversation, after scrolling on your phone, after working, after being alone. Your emotions are information, they are not a weakness. If something constantly leaves you exhausted, anxious, or tense, that's a sign, and you don't need to fix it immediately. You just need to notice it. Another realistic tip is to stop trying to change everything at once. This is one of the biggest mistakes people make. They decide to focus on themselves and suddenly want to wake up early, eat perfectly, exercise every day, read books, meditate, and stay positive all the time. That's not real life. That's pressure disguised as self-improvement. Real focus starts small. It starts with choosing one moment in your day that belongs only to you. It can be 10 minutes. 10 minutes without your phone, without other people's voices, without expectations. During that time, you don't need to be productive. You can sit, walk, breathe, or simply think. This space is not about results. It's about presence. When you start creating this space, something interesting happens. You become more aware of your thoughts, especially the way you speak to yourself. Many of us are very kind to others, but extremely hard on ourselves. We criticize our progress, our pace, our mistakes, and then we wonder why we feel unmotivated. Focusing on yourself also means learning to speak to yourself with more patience, not fake positivity, but understanding. Instead of saying, "I'm failing," you can say, "I'm learning." Instead of "I'm late," you can say, "I'm on my own timeline." And yes, this takes practice. Some days you will forget. Some days you will fall back into comparison and self-doubt. That doesn't mean you failed. It means you're human. One of the most powerful changes you can make is to be more intentional with what you consume. Not just food, but information. What you watch, what you listen to, what you read. If you constantly consume content that makes you feel behind, not enough, or anxious, it becomes very hard to focus on yourself. So choose content that calms you, inspires you, or teaches you something useful, like this moment right now. Focusing on yourself also means accepting that some people won't understand your changes. When you stop explaining yourself, stop overgiving, or stop being available all the time, it can feel uncomfortable. But protecting your energy is not rejection. It's respect for yourself and for others. You don't need to become someone else. You don't need to rush. You don't need to have everything figured out. You just need to stay connected to yourself while you move forward. If you're learning English by listening to podcasts like this, you're already focusing on yourself more than you think. You're investing time in growth, even when it feels slow or invisible. And growth like this is real. So take a breath, slow down, and remember that focusing on yourself is not a destination, it's a daily choice. Thank you for staying with me until the end of this episode. If this moment helped you, even a little, then it was worth it. This is English Glow Up, and I'm really glad you're here. We'll talk again very soon.